Hello, 2322. This lecture is a general introduction to Chaucer and the general prologue to the Canterbury Tales. Before I even start, I think two things to remember, general things about the Canterbury Tales. He wrote this around 1400. I think maybe the most important thing to remember is that he wrote this in English. Chaucer could speak French. Chaucer could speak Latin. Most literary texts in 1400 were written in Latin or French. So the fact that he wrote this in English might mean it's the second most important text ever written compared to the Bible. So a lot more people got to read these tales, got to experience high, middle, low class life in 1400 Great Britain. The other thing to remember is he wrote for all social classes. A lot of the literature, Middle English literature from 1400 dealt with rich people, kings and knights and ladies, or maybe the clergy. In 1400, no one really wrote about the daily life of the poor people. And that's good. It's a sort of a cross-section of voices. He's interested in everyone. So, again, Chaucer's dates are 1343 to 1400, and he's the father of English literature. Not a great deal is known about his life. More is known about his jobs or his political life than his personal life. His father was a wealthy wine merchant who traveled. So Chaucer, as a little kid, would go with his father, got to meet people, rich, middle, poor, from all different countries. And he was a bright kid and he paid attention. His regular job, he was a government official that had to do with the garment industry. So as you read these tales, to some degree, the clothes someone wears or their physical appearance is a key to what their personality is like. And another thing, there was a plague. It kind of fits with COVID-19, but maybe 30 to 40% of the people during Chaucer's time died of a virus, a black plague, and he lived through it. And I think that's significant. Maybe there's a paper there somewhere. You might have to do some research. In general, Chaucer wasn't especially political. He didn't like the clergy. He thought the clergy was corrupt and greedy, and we'll talk more about that later. There's 24 stories in the Canterbury Tales. They're unfinished, and there's 29 pilgrims. My note says I'm doing my Canterbury Tales theme sheet, wide variety of casts. Hypocrisy is key theme, material needs, not spirituality. So these pilgrims are going to Canterbury. It's a religious pilgrimage to worship God, but a lot of them are more concerned with making money or social status than they are about worshiping God. And that's not lost on Chaucer. All 24 of the stories are told from the perspective of different storytellers. Some of them are honest and good. Some of them are crooked. Some of them have different motivations. We're only reading the introduction, the Miller's Tale and the Wife of Bath's Tale, but you can tell something about the narrator through the way he or she tells the tale. And notice I said she, it's not just rich men telling the tales, it's all different casts. So as I go down the list, impact of religion, Black Plague, question authority of the church. Again, Black Plague, people are dying, people need spiritual answers, and the clergy to Chaucer just want to make money. That's an example are the Pardoner and the Summoner's Tales. Church is rich, the people are poor. A lot of times the social groups in 1400 were the clergy, who were supposed to be dealing with prayer and religious things. Nobility are the rich people fighting for land and wealth and status, and the peasants are just doing the work. On my sheet, general prologue, The narrator, which it's implied that it's Chaucer, is in a tavern, and all these different people are meeting together in a tavern to have dinner on their way to Canterbury. And it's significant. Normally, you would think rich people ate with rich people, poor people ate with poor people. But under the umbrella of God and religion, all these people are eating together. And I think that's significant. And the tavern owner says, whoever tells the best story gets a free meal. Becket was a Christian martyr who can heal sinners. And the tale is set in April in spring. Maybe there's a theme there, rebirth and hope. Days are longer, the sun is out. New life, fertility, a lot of babies are conceived in the spring. Chaucer describes the virtues and vices of each pilgrim. In the prologue, we can understand the characters through their appearance, fashion, profession, and the food they eat. As an example, the miller is red and chubby, likes to drink beer, can tell a mean story. So, I might be red, chubby, drink a little beer, tell a mean story. So maybe if you're having fun, you picture the miller as me. But Chaucer is certainly interested in people, and the way he sketches out their fashion, their physical appearance is a key to what they're like. Like he sketches the clergy as crooked, debauched, fake, and lecherous, out for themselves, not out for God. As I go down the sheet, the miller, and I'm going to talk about the miller's tale later. I'm going to talk about the wife of Bass' tale later. But the miller is named Nicholas, and he's older, and his wife is Allison, and she's young and pretty. It's sort of on one level, the miller is making fun of carpenters, but on another level, the moral is an old guy shouldn't necessarily marry a young girl. And on my note here, the wife of Bath, she's physically unattractive, she's fat, and she's gap-toothed. She's been married 5 times and gone on 3 pilgrimages. So 2020, we're all modern and hip, but what does Texas think of a woman who's been married 5 times? People probably talk smack about her. She doesn't have a good reputation. But as we read her story, we see she's worldly wise. She knows what men want. Generally, she knows what she's talking about. She's a reliable, honest narrator, and we get past her physical appearance. Just some general themes. I don't think this is on my sheet here. General themes for you to remember as you read the Canterbury Tales. Maybe if you took a class, Shakespeare or Chaucer before, you heard of the notion of courtly love. A man puts the beautiful woman on a pedestal, knights saving damsels in distress. It's idealized love, it's spiritual love. You're in love with the idea of being in love. You love the princess and you're going to save her. Another big theme is company, having friends. It's good that people from different backgrounds, rich, poor, men and women, sit at a table, break bread, eat, tell stories, get to know each other. You could call it fellowship, maybe. A big theme for him, if Chaucer is political, it's that the church is corrupt. Like the spiritual leaders are supposed to be helping the people during the time of the plague, but they want money, they're lecherous. Chaucer doesn't trust the clergy and the church. Another big theme, I said this before, is springtime. It's April, rebirth, plague killed a bunch of people, but the sun's shining, people want to be outside, people want to make love, they're happier in the spring. And physiognomy, I think I pronounced that right, but it's a science of judging people by their appearance. And again, maybe I look like the miller. So anyway, that's a general introduction to Chaucer and the general prologue. Okay.